Hey, best in the West. Anybody else got something different to say? Then come see me. Come see me. First place NFC West, Seattle Seahawks. Big trust. Woo woo. Russell Wilson, it's all you. Hey man, lot of love. Can't thank my team enough. It's all about the teammates. It's a team effort. Let's go, baby. Go Hawks. What's up, Kleschka Crew? Hope you like my Mark Ingram impression right there. That's the Seattle Seahawks version for you, and we're in first place, baby, and it feels so good. We had trick plays last week. We had upsets, lots of fun football. Hopefully this week will be just as fun. Let's get started with the Thursday game. We have the Cowboys, who lost on Thanksgiving to the Bills. They showed their true talent. They were great defensively. And then you had the Bears, who played the Lions with a third-string quarterback, and he actually did pretty good. A lot of people thought the Bears would have a walk in the park, but the Lions quarterback was trying to make a name for himself and be like, hey, I'm trying to go from third string up to that starter, although Matthew Stafford probably not going to take him over. We'll see what the last few weeks this guy gets. But this week, I don't think I can really count on the Bears being as great defensively as I keep talking them up to be, because they keep letting me down. The Cowboys, their offense against the better teams struggles, but they play the lower end teams, and they do pretty good. With Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, they should be doing just fine, but they have just not been able to find a way this season. However, with the way that the Bears defense is performing, this lackluster style, I think the Cowboys offense will succeed, so I think the Cowboys will beat the Bears 23-17. Packers and Redskins. The Packers beat the Giants in a very snowy game, and the Redskins beat the Panthers. The Redskins get another win, and they almost did not get this one. The Panthers tried to make a late comeback, but we'll talk about that more when we get to the Panthers game. This week, the defense for the Redskins can be shredded easily, especially when you have an elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. So he did that to the Giants last weekend, and I think he's going to do it again to the Redskins this weekend. 2 back-to-back easy games for him. These are victories they need, and victories that they're probably going to get, especially against this Redskins team. Even though since they put in Dwayne Haskins, they've looked better, but like I said, they're playing the Packers, who are led by Aaron Rodgers, and they got Devontae Adams back. Aaron Jones has been a great force all year, so I think this is going to be a walk in the park for the Packers, and I think they will win 31-20. Lions and Vikings. The Lions lost to the Bears last week. They gave it their best effort with their third-string quarterback. And they had the Vikings, who played my Seahawks, baby, who fought all the way until the end, not gonna lie. I got very nervous towards the end, but then we punched it out at the end and we secured victory over Minnesota. This week, I think Minnesota is the better team. They are playing a struggling Lions team, and Minnesota's got its weapons like Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback, and the Lions, they're just playing through injuries right now. They're probably waiting for the season to be over so they can get their team to heal up and be ready for next season and give it their best punch, okay? So this week, I think Minnesota will do pretty well against the Lions. I think they will beat them 30-24. Broncos and Texans. The Broncos won last week on a Brandon McManus game-winning field goal as time expired. And they had the Texans, who upset the Patriots in the stadium where the Patriots won a Super Bowl twice. The Texans, of course, call it home, so they should be more adjusted to it. And Deshaun Watson, he just made it look easy. When he's mobile and he's just throwing, the Patriots didn't seem like they could guard him. Maybe that's their weakness. Lamar Jackson beat the Patriots. He's a mobile quarterback. Deshaun Watson beat the Patriots. He's a mobile quarterback. And the trick play in that game, the handoff, then the other handoff, and then you see DeAndre Hopkins running. He's looking like he's going to go for the end zone. Then he goes, takes the football and goes, whoop, and he throws it to Deshaun Watson, who hits that pylon, gets the touchdown. While Hopkins, after he threw it, got front flipped, but they were just the more athletic team that day. Tom Brady was frustrated. They took away Julian Edelman, and then they were just able to guard the rest of the receivers, and it really made him struggle, including the entire team. And then they tried to go for that onside at the end, and they almost had it. Bolden went up, he hit it towards him. He probably would have got it, but it went out of bounds, and that secured victory for the Texans. Very close. We've had a lot of good onside kicks in the recent weeks in the NFL. This week, though, the Texans are very talented. The Broncos are playing backup quarterbacks after backup quarterbacks. And Deshaun Watson, I don't see how he can't succeed when he just came off beating the Patriots. this is a team that is looking for the year to end as well. Deshaun Watson is looking to get his team to the playoffs and more. So with how mobile he is, and he's got a talented receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, and he's making good use of his running backs, I think the Texans will beat the Broncos 27-17. Ravens and Bills. Bills got that Thanksgiving win, and the Ravens beat the 49ers on a game-winning field goal from Justin Tucker. Dude, how can you not love Justin Tucker? That dude is the most accurate kicker in NFL history, and I personally love him because I had him on my fantasy team 4 times until this year. This is the first year I do not have him on my fantasy team as a kicker, which hurts. It breaks my heart, but I had to move on. Somebody got him before me. It's okay. Still love Justin Tucker. The Ravens are fun to watch. Lamar Jackson is just entertainment by himself. And the Bills are a tough defense, but Lamar Jackson does not care what your defense is. He's just going to shred them. Look what he did to the Patriots. Beat them. So I think this is going to be a similar game to that Patriots game, and I think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to beat the Bills 24-20. Browns and Bengals. Browns lost to the Steelers last week in a rematch after the incident with Myles Garrett, which we really didn't see any tempers flare. They kind of pushed it aside. They forgot about it. They realized the team is bigger than that whole fight, so they just ignored it. And then you have the Bengals who beat the Jets. They got their first win on the season, which kind of upsets me because I wanted to see an 0-16 team. But no, the Bengals got their first win, and I heard recently there was a Bengals fan staying on his roof for the entire season until the Bengals got a win. Can somebody please let me know if that is true? And if it is, can you link like an article or a video or something? I heard something about that. If that's true, I would love to read more about it or watch something about it, because that is hilarious. He can finally get down from his roof now. And now they're playing the Browns, who definitely got talent. And they got Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield. And I feel like the reason that team doesn't succeed with all those weapons is because it's at its core in Baker Mayfield. He struggles. So if he can succeed, then I think the rest of that offense is going to look very scary. But they have not been able to do that. Baker Mayfield has not been able to do that. So I think this is going to be a close one. Cincinnati's coming off their first win, but I think the Browns are more talented defensively and offensively, and the Bengals have just been all over the place. They've switched quarterbacks. They've gone back to the quarterback that they benched. So it's a crazy mess over there in Cincinnati, and I think the Browns will beat the Bengals 26-23. 49ers and Saints. Saints beat the Falcons on Thanksgiving. It was all Taysom Hill. It was his show. That dude blocked punts, got a rushing touchdown, he got a receiving touchdown. He was doing it all. Taysom Hill is a Swiss Army knife. He's the human Swiss Army knife. That's literally what they call him, because he literally does everything. He plays running back, quarterback, defense, special teams. What doesn't he do? He literally is the ultimate football player. And then you have the 49ers, who lost to the Ravens on that game-winning field goal. And we are now ahead of them, baby. First place. I can't stop talking about that because it feels so good. Okay, and the 49ers, this is going to be a shootout, I believe. Their defense is solid, but the Saints' offense, I believe, is good enough to get them in a shootout. I think Garoppolo and Breeze will just be trading off touchdowns constantly, one after another. And I think the defense is ultimately going to give up a good majority of points, but I still think they will be able to hold the Saints down long enough for the 49ers to get ahead and succeed. So I think the 49ers will beat the Saints 37-31. Panthers and Falcons. The Falcons lost to the Saints on Thanksgiving, and the Panthers, they got an onside kick to try and tie up the game late in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't do it. On their final play, 4th and goal, Kyle Allen gets the snap. He drops back and back and back and back and back, only to get sacked and lose the game. So that must have been very frustrating for Panthers fans. I would be so frustrated. And this week we got Atlanta, and they have been up and down. They've had their moments where they look bright with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and Devontae Freeman and Matt Ryan. And then Carolina, they found Kyle Allen in a bright spot when Cam Newton could not play the rest of the year. Although Kyle Allen has had his struggles, and both of these teams have really had their struggles. I think the Falcons have had more struggles, and I think they're going to struggle in this game. I think Kyle Allen and the Panthers are going to carry, well, actually, I think Christian McCaffrey is going to carry this team to victory. So I think the Panthers will beat the Falcons 27-20. Dolphins and Jets. Jets, you gave the Bengals their first win. You lost Just let that sink in for the rest of the season. And the Dolphins, congratulations, you beat the Eagles. Nobody thought you were going to win, and you did an amazing trick play in that game. You set up in a punt formation on like the 2-yard line, and then you snap it to the punter, and he's rolling out, and then he's like, oh, touchdown to the kicker. I could not believe that trick play. That was awesome. Punter to kicker, touchdown. That is just absolutely amazing. It sounds fun to say. I cannot believe, and I bet you they felt on top of the world because they beat a team that really needed a win because they're trying to get that division, the Eagles with the Cowboys, and the Dolphins just came in and were like, nah, not so fast, and we're going to do this trick play at the same time. So this week, it's a division rivalry, Dolphins-Jets. The Jets, I don't know, they're so up and down. You think Sam Darnold comes back and you think this team is going to have a better chance, but they've been losing games that they should not lose. And the Dolphins have been winning games that they should not win. And I think it's going to happen again. I think the Dolphins will beat the Jets 23-16. Colts and Buccaneers. The Colts lost to the Titans last week. The defense really stepped up for the Titans to win that game. We'll talk about that when we get to the Tennessee game. And then we had Tampa Bay, who beat Jacksonville last week. Jameis Winston, the dude, scores points. This team scores points. They're one of the top teams in scoring points, but he turns over the ball too much. They'll get points on the board, but you're just going to give it to the other team so many times that they allows them to keep up with you, and even when you're not turning the ball over, they score on you. So it's pretty tough. No matter how many points you score, you got to be able to stop them defensively, and you got to not turn the ball over. So that's the main flaw with the Buccaneers. If they could just stop themselves from doing that, if Jameis Winston could not turn the ball over as much as he does, then they'd probably have more wins. This week, the Colts, I think, have been a fighter all season. Andrew Luck retired on them out of nowhere, and Jacoby Brissett stepped up, and he's been great. And like I said, Jameis Winston turns that ball over too much to the point where I think the Colts have been so great and had so much passion that I think that's going to help them get those turnovers, the fumbles, the interceptions. I think they are going to beat the Buccaneers 31-27. Chargers and Jaguars. Jaguars lost to the Colts. We just mentioned that. And the Chargers lost again within a 1-score margin. That's all their losses. All their losses have been by 1 score. And it was the game-winning field goal from Brandon McManus against the Broncos. The Chargers have been struggling so much, and ever since Nick Foles came back for the Jaguars, they've been struggling. But Gardner Minshew is back, baby! Minshew Mania is taking over once again. I think that's a good thing for the Jaguars. I really think that's what they need, and I think it's going to help them secure victory. The Chargers just have had such a rough time this year, and they keep losing by just the smallest of margins, and I think that's going to happen again. I think it's going to be another one-score loss for the Chargers. I think the Jaguars will beat them 24-17. Cardinals and Steelers. We got a former Super Bowl right here. The Cardinals lost to the Rams last week. The Rams absolutely took out their anger on them after they got owned by the Ravens. They basically did that to the Cardinals. And then you had the Steelers who beat the Browns. And they're just going down their quarterback depth chart too. You know, Ben Roethlisberger got injured way early in the season. And then Mason Rudolph, who's had his time on the injury report as well. And he's been a part of that Myles Garrett situation, and then he got hurt again, and so now it's Delvin Hodges, and they're just keep going down on that depth chart, and now they're playing Arizona, and I think Kyler Murray is so young and so good, and he's got a solid wide receiving core and a banged up running back core with David Johnson. McKenyon Drake has stepped into Arizona and taken that job and done pretty well with it, which has also angered me because David Johnson was my #1 pick in fantasy. Calm down. And then this week, I just think the Cardinals are younger, they're faster, and the Steelers are so banged up throughout the whole team that I think this is a good thing for the Cardinals, so I think they will beat Pittsburgh 23-20. Titans and Raiders. The Titans basically won on a blocked kick. They blocked it, they scored, and then that basically gave them victory. I think they scored again after that. So once that kick was blocked, it gave them all the momentum. And then you got the Raiders, who are battling to get first place over the Chiefs. And the Chiefs were like, no, that's not going to happen. Especially with Patrick Mahomes. They just destroyed the Raiders. If the Raiders do make it to the playoffs, I don't see them making it far. The Chiefs, however, they are going to battle. The Raiders this week are battling against the Titans, who have this never-say-die attitude. They put Ryan Tannehill in, and it has been probably the best move for them. Derrick Henry has been rushing like a freight train lately. The dude is so big. He has so much muscle. He just racks up all those yards just running down defenders. And I think that's going to happen again this week. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a huge game. I think the Raiders are going to try their best to stay within this game, but I still think they'll be on the losing end. I think the Titans will beat the Raiders 30-20. Chiefs and Patriots, we just talked about the Chiefs owning the Raiders last week, and the Patriots, they were upset by the Texans. Yes, thank you, Texans. The Patriots have struggled on offense all year, basically. You've seen Tom Brady express how he feels. He knows they're struggling in their wins. He talks about it. He's like, this is not the offense I want. This is not the offense we need. The defense has really been the key for the Patriots. But Deshaun Watson was able to beat it last week, mobile quarterback. Lamar Jackson was able to beat it, mobile quarterback. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, mobile quarterback. I think that is the one thing the Patriots defense cannot guard against, and that is their weakness. That is their kryptonite. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to use that to his ability. He's got his wide receiving weapons like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and I think they will beat the Patriots 24-20. Seahawks and Rams, baby. I'm so happy we got that win last week over the Vikings. It was only a one-score margin, but hey, we were on the winning end of it, so I'm happy. I am very content with that. And they had the Rams, who obliterated the Cardinals, but they've been struggling this season. Jared Goff is not really finding his way, although he really had it last week, but throughout the whole season, it's been a struggle. Todd Gurley's had his knee problem, and Jared Goff really hasn't lived up to the money they're paying him for, in my opinion. And I think Russell Wilson is having an MVP caliber season. Of course, there's that guy in Baltimore, that quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who's probably going to win it because he's just doing more amazing runs and spins and just making it more entertaining for the game of football. The Seahawks are going to stay in this till the end. We just got first place. We're going to try our best to hold on to it. This Rams team is not performing to the talent they have. They got Robert Woods, Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, all names I mentioned already, Cooper Kupp, Gerald Everett, but they're not really performing like they were a year ago. They're kind of, I don't know what happened to them. They've just lost their way. And the Seahawks, we definitely have our way, baby. We're on the right track. And I think we're going to beat the Rams 23-17. Eagles and Giants. Eagles, they lost to the Dolphins last week. Even though Carson Wentz pretty much played well the whole game, when it came down to the end, the defense was letting him down, and Carson Wentz could not complete the comeback. They had the Giants, who lost to the Packers in that snowy game. And this week, I think the Giants defense is going to get shredded again. The secondary has been known for getting shredded all season. I think that is going to happen again with Carson Wentz coming off his first multiple touchdown game in a long time last week. I think he's going to repeat that, and I think he will beat the Giants 33-20. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching this week of Kleschka Picks. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know which trick play you thought was more exciting, the Dolphins punter to kicker or the DeAndre Hopkins running and then front flip pass touchdown to Deshaun Watson. Like the video, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your pets, your friends, everybody you know, and I will see you next time. I got this.